So one thing is around, explaining the AI and understanding like why is it outputting that response, right? So, it's one term refers to in the research community talks about, actually going through and parsing. Let's say ChatGPT outputted some racist comment, right? Let's trace it back to exactly why I made that comment. And so there's a bunch of complex mathematics. There's a bunch of different techniques where we can say this training data point around, this kind of data, let's say around gender groups and doctors, created this kind of information inside the model. And that model now, when prompted around the question around, doctors was being discriminatory against women or men, right? But there's a lot of complex math around that, and it's really hard to explain to end users that. But oftentimes, they actually don't want to know all the inner workings, right? As a kind of end user, you might just want to make sure you're interpreting the AI correctly. And so in the interpretability sense, it would just be, can we interpret the meaning behind the AI and understand, is it aligned with kind of my values, right? So I see basically there's gonna be efforts on both fronts, but actually interpretability is gonna be much more important because we want basically humans to not just take the AI's word for granted and say, okay, this is going to be the ground truth, and we're going to go with whatever the AI says, but actually interpret what it means and actually make sure there's a misunderstanding, and then evaluate for themselves if they want to use that information. And there's no need for the human to understand exactly how and why I came up with that, because oftentimes AI doesn't give a satisfactory answer anyway. And so I think there's basically going to be this separation